Well, hello, I'm Glenn, and this is my walking partner, Jude. And the 1 year of planning has finally come to its end. We're at the northern terminus here in Kalamunda of the Bibbulmun Track, 1,000 kilometres ahead of us. We're going to take about 8 weeks. We're in no hurry at our age, not doing too much double hutting, a couple of double nights in some of the towns on the way down to Albany. But it's going to be a challenge, it's going to be an adventure. Thankfully the rain looks like it might be back on its way. First couple of steps might be okay, but looking forward to it. The first day not too far, just 11k through until Hewitt's Hill. Let's get on the road. A little bit odd, the very start of the track. You leave the northern terminus in the little hut and actually make your way down a road before we veer off about 100 metres from here, turn off to the right and back onto what is a bit more of an authentic forest track. So entering a part of the track called Jorgensen Park now. And there's some beautiful wildflowers here. Probably in the next couple of weeks we will, over our long journey down south, come across a lot of them. Already you can see that there's some water running. We've had some fairly heavy rain the last couple of months here in Perth. A little rivulet. Nice sound, a little bit of moving water. Well, down through the years there have been various iterations of the Bibbulmun Track. Parts of it were first cleared, if you like, in 1974. Initially, in the earlier stages, the track used to actually end at Walpole. It wasn't until September 1998 that the entire track was finished, north to south, south to north. And ever since then it's been one of the great walks, not just in Australia, but around the world, especially the time that we're walking it now, and there are so many beautiful wildflowers out. Well, unfortunately for us, we've reached the Trails Hub Cafe on a Monday when they're not open, but these people do a terrific job. In fact, anyone that does the south to north on the Bibbulmun, if you go all the way, they'll give you free jam and cream scones and a cup of coffee in here. They also do the terrific Feed the Hike food, the dehydrated food, which is a product here in Western Australia. So they're great supporters of the Bibbulmun Track. But since they're not here to make us a coffee, Jude's making us a cup of tea. Here we are on the final little climb up to Hewitt's Hill Hut. Very first campsite, 11 kilometres from the northern terminus. We've had a few sprinkles of rain during the day, but very little to cause a real issue. And the sky's not too bad at the moment, so we'll get our tents up as quickly as we can, just in case it changes. Here we are, hut number 1, Hewitt's Hill. Well, there's my tent set up for the night. Pretty small areas here, footprints at Hewitt's Hill, and quite hard to get your pegs in because some of it is almost gravel. And then Jude because they are such small sites, is in her tent up here. She's more in the penthouse. I'm down towards ground level. And she's in there. And hopefully we'll get a good night's sleep. The sky now looks pretty clear. There's a little bit of light rain just for putting the tents up, but otherwise it's been a pretty good day. Hardly any rain whatsoever. Time to bid farewell to Hewitt's Hill. It's a bit after 8 o'clock. I don't think we're going to make any early starts on this particular meander. We do have a long one ahead of us today though. It's about 20-21 k's. So we're going to skip through the Balls Creek Hut and then continue on to Helena for the overnight. Beautiful day today. Perfect day for hiking. There's some cloud overhead. Greyish but not threatening. Hardly any breeze. Temperature extremely mild. So perfect way to start the day. Well, we've done about 3 kilometres so far and it is extremely humid. The peak of my cap already dripping perspiration off the front of it. A beautiful track through here, a lovely piece of single track to walk through, which is lovely, but it's not hot today, but it is just incredibly humid. So it will probably test us over 21 k's till we get to camp. And here's where we start our first very steep descent on day 2. It's going to take us very shortly all the way down to the dam wall. We're walking across now one of the great engineering feats in the history of Western Australia. This is Mundaring Weir, which actually pumps water about 550 kilometres all the way to the WA goldfields, Kalgoorlie and Coolgardie. It was actually designed by C.Y. O'Connor, Charles Yelverton O'Connor, an Irish engineer. But unfortunately, he took his life only about inside a year from the Premier, Sir John Forrest, actually opening this particular structure. There's 7 massive pumping stations beyond here. There's the one that gets the water underway from here, known as the Golden Pipeline, all the way out to the goldfields. Last overflowed back in 1996. Probably be quite some time before it does it again, but completed in 1903. It captures the water from the Helena River and the runoff from around here. An incredible engineering feat. And here is the actual Golden Pipeline. So this is what takes water 550 kilometres to the WA goldfields. Quite amazing technology and engineering, given it was the first decade of the last century. Really important along the way. There are a lot of walker-friendly businesses registered with the Bibbulmun Track Foundation, so always best to try and look after them as best you can. You're making friends, Jude.
I know, we're talking. Hello. How are you?
One probably makes more sense than the other.
Yeah, the bird.
Very cute. Passing through the Hills Forest Adventure Centre here. People can camp, stay, you get some educational things about the bush as well. And the track actually goes directly through the middle of it. So here we are at Waalegh Hut. We're double hutting today, so a little bit of a break here, backpacks off, maybe a cup of soup. This is the Waalegh. All the huts pretty much the same all the way along the bib. Three-sided, 49 of them there are in all, so this is the second one. Stayed last night at Hewitt's Hill, Waalegh, and then on to Helena for tonight. But a standard setup, you've got bunks on either side. In the middle you've got your bench if it's raining to be able to eat at. Outside a couple of other benches at certain times of the year. You can use your fire pit, and then scattered all around the various places where you can pitch a tent. Also, of course, we have water tanks, one on either side, and then there's a drop toilet close by as well. They might now have just a little bit of a break. So pretty much in the valley floor now. We're about 5.3 kilometres from the hut, and from here it is pretty much uphill all the way. There'll be a little bit of respite with a few downhill bits or a little bit of a mini plateau, but otherwise, looking at the topography on the map, pretty much uphill from here all the way to the campsite. Well, about a kilometre to go to get into our hut for the night. Been a fairly taxing day. Over 500 metres of climbing, over 20 k's in distance, and as they say, it takes the first week or so to really become trail fit, if you like. So feeling it a little bit today, but looking forward to getting the pack off and sitting down at the hut not too far away now, which is always a nice feeling. So here we are at Helena. This hut, as you can see, is a little bit different from the previous couple. It's actually rammed earth. Back in early 2018, January 2018, the Wamdu forest here was devastated by a very severe bushfire. You can see there's plenty of regeneration, but unfortunately it meant that the original hut disappeared. So as a result, they have built it out of rammed earth. There are a couple of others along the way down to Albany that are similar, that have been restored or have been replaced after bushfires. But a lovely view from where we are. Our tent is up behind us. Up the hill up there is where we've put our tents. Hopefully we'll get a good night's sleep. So we just had our dinner here at Helena. This is Jude's very stealth tent. You can't see it at all. How have you enjoyed the day, Judith?
It was very good.
You can pull that down so we can see your face.
No, no.
Well, what did you make of it?
Amazing, actually. Wildflowers today.
Well, we did see wildlife. Saw a kangaroo a moment ago.
Yeah, but the wildflowers were just phenomenal. The yellows and whites, and it's just, yeah, just stunning. It's stunning.
And a nice view to finish the day too. It'll be quite pretty. The direction of the camera right there is where the sun is going to come up. That's east, so tomorrow morning the valley will be nicely illuminated. Jude's going to get up pre-dawn, take some photos and video for me and bring it back and show it to me.
I don't think so.
Good night everyone from Helena. Hopefully you'll sleep as well as we do. Well, here we are just after dawn in Helena, and a beautiful mist that's down in the valley. Quite magical. The sun, oh, it's just poking up over the hills in the different distance, but it's magnificent. It's so still. not a breath of air. Well, Jude, you're the expert. What are we looking at? What sort of spore here?
It's a Mr. Whippy emu poo.
A Mr. Whippy emu poo.
Yeah, because it's perfect.
Looks pretty fresh too, so maybe the emu is not too far away. What have we seen? I've seen one kangaroo at Helena, and I've seen one wallaby a couple of days ago, but nothing else as far as wildlife apart from birds.
No, lots and lots of birds, but to be totally honest, we're very quiet on the wildlife front. Hoping to see an echidna.
Never seen one. You've seen lots.
Yeah.
Never seen an echidna. But anyway, that's where an emu has been. Keep our eyes peeled. We might actually see him or her over the next kilometre or so.
Is this the start of the first hill?
It is the start of the first hill, Jude, I think. Well, we've just had a very nice restorative cup of tea because we've just come up the first major climb of our walk so far, and when I say major, nudging 60 years of age, it was major. How did you find it, young lady?
It was steep and continuous.
Oh boy.
It's just steep. You're not used to steep hills in Perth, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and humid.
Very humid, but a beautiful breeze at the top. Jude has picked a lovely log that we're sitting on. So we're going to take another couple of minutes of breather, saddle up. We've got a nice decline, and then we've got another hill. If I'm still going, I'll talk to you then. It may not look like it, but we've just actually reached the campsite of Waalegh. I'm reliably informed that's how you pronounce that. So we just had a lovely cup of soup. Julie's putting the sunscreen back on. So we're just over halfway now on our third day, making our way along to Berriking. Beautiful little campsite, this one though. It almost looks like lawn, sort of moss on the ground there. It's a quite beautiful little campsite. And we got here, as you can see, no one else for company. Well, another thing fulfilled, Judith. I told you I'd never ever seen an echidna before. And here one is right here, all balled up and looking particularly spiky. First time outside a zoo that I've actually ever seen one. So that's brought a smile to my dial, Judith, heading late into the day.
Yeah, that's good.
Fantastic. Never seen one before. Now a little bit of casual water late in the day. See if we can navigate through successfully, not a problem. Without getting our boots wet, mind you. They were sold to us as being waterproof, so they should be okay, I guess. 4 Ks from camp now. Looking forward to seeing the turn-off sign. Well, here we are. We've made it into Berriking. The name of this particular hut. They actually made it in pretty good time, it would appear, because there are some light showers coming in across that valley at the moment, and the wind is picking up. So we'll make a decision shortly about what we're going to do for the night's accommodation.
Jude's Tech Talks. So this one we're going to talk about PLBs, or personal location beacons. Lots of different styles and types. I've got a KTS GPS, which is very small. With the PLB, it just sends out a signal if you've got an emergency, which will be triangulated through marine search and rescue, land search and rescue, and they come and get you. hopefully they come and get you. So only to be used in an emergency. You can get things like the Garmin InReach and Garmin InReach Mini, which you can buy a plan and have, you're able to text as well as it being an emergency beacon. So if you want to keep in contact all the time, that's the way to go. This is just easy to do. The other thing I never go anywhere without is a varying size of first aid kit, depends on what I'm doing. But whatever I do, I've always got a snake bandage and I've always got a triangular bandage. And also I carry an emergency wrap, silver foil wrap thing, because they're always handy. In this one here, I actually have some peppermint oil. You may laugh, but that's to keep the mice away. They don't like it. And then I've just got an array of some antiseptic cream, itch cream, Vaseline, tea tree oil, splinters, removers and things like that. Then I've just got a selection of different band-aids and paracetamol, just your basic stuff. Quite a bit, because I didn't know how our feet were going to go, but they're going pretty okay at the moment, so I might offload some of the band-aids because we might not hopefully need them. Also normally keep in something like a anti-diarrhea, because you don't want diarrhea on the trip, believe me. So, like I say, people to have their own stuff. Choose what you want, but always have something.
Well, time to pack up and leave Berwick this morning. You can see from this sign that is out over the valley that back in early 2005 a massive bushfire came through here, wiped out 28,000 hectares. Remarkably, you have to shake your head, it was deliberately lit, 6 individual fires, but you can tell the damage. This is where we are at Berwick. That's where we had our lunch yesterday up at Waalegh, so an entire area burnt out. You can tell by looking down in the valley at the moment, it's pretty well regenerated. We've had breakfast down at this bench here, and now we're about to pack up and head off. We actually went into the hut last night. There were 4 others with us. 2 of them were terrific blokes, Peter and Paul, 2 30-plus year veterans of the Army and the police force. So some good yarns and some great company. But time now to head off. We're double hutting again, the last double hut, well, that we're planning on this trip, down to Brookton. And then after that we'll be taking it a little bit slower. So off we go, start of day 4. Well, the land we're walking on is part of Noongar country. The Bibbulmun is actually a subgroup of the Noongar nation. And one of the most sacred animals in Noongar mythology, if you like, history, is the Waalegh, the rainbow serpent. And the rainbow serpent is actually the signage for the entirety of the Bibbulmun Track. So every time we come to an intersection, as we have just now, or perhaps every 300 or 400 metres, you find a Bibbulmun marker, the Waalegh. And the Waalegh was responsible, the rainbow serpent, for creating the Darling Range that we've been walking over in recent days, the Dergul Yerrigan, which is the Swan River. So it is a very, very sacred creature in the history of the Noongar people. And at the moment we are on Waalegh country. And when we get to Collie, probably a little bit over a week and a bit, we'll then move into the Bibbulmun tribe and then another tribe as we go further towards the south coast. But it is the rainbow serpent, the Waalegh, that guides us on our way all the way from Kalamunda through until Albany. So we've got to keep an eye on that little triangular bright yellow sign that's dotted on various trees. If you don't see them for 300 or 400 metres, then you haven't been checking the navigation on your watch. Primarily it means you've taken a wrong turn. Well, very much a change in scenery all of a sudden. We've entered the side of a pine forest. And the other news is we're about to get to the bottom of this valley And as you can see above the pine forest is where we're going to roughly be climbing in the near future. So our easy start to the day is about to change probably in the next 15 or so minutes. So our normal plans, Judith, have changed because of a diversion, because they're going to be doing some backburning.
Yeah, which is quite common and a good thing to obviously stop over undergrowth and stuff. So we're here. The trail is marked with X all the way through here, and ours is with green and just following this. So fairly simple.
Well, let's get on to it. It's the only thing about the diversions for the burn-offs is the fact that they can only really be on access roads, which can be a little bit mundane to walk on, rather than some of the beautiful single track through the wildflowers and the likes. But you can see this side of the road is the side that has had the very recent burn-off, and this side still pristine bush. Cup of tea time.
Always got to have a cup of tea. Don't ever underestimate the value of a cup of tea when you're feeling like crap.
So here we are at Mundaring Hut. We're not stopping, just going to replenish our water and keep going on our merry way. Again, great job done by Depot. They've had their backburn and kept everything completely intact. So replenish our bottles at the water tank and then back on the track. Well, here we are, the end of day 4. We've made it to Brookton. A little bit longer today, 21.5 k's instead of 19.5, because we had a burn-off restriction area. Yep. And we had to walk down double gravel road, a very wide gravel road. For a long time it was all uphill, and it just took a little bit off the day. Still nice, but unfortunately it has to be done.
No, it wasn't nice, it was horrible.
I mean, it has to be done.
I don't like walking on big gravel roads,
no.
But you have to do it, but I don't like it.
And especially when it's continuously uphill for about 3.5 kilometres. But well done to Depot, the Department of Parks and Wildlife. They have to do things like that. We're in here all alone, so we're actually going to sleep in the hut, which is a rammed earth hut because of fire, like so many places went through here very recently, so they've rebuilt it. And I should really show you it. If we come around this way, you can come wandering around with me. You've actually done a very good job today, as you always do. What have we got down here?
Rinsed clothes.
Rinsed clothes. You've done an excellent piece of work down here, making sure that all the laundry is done. We've dried our tents.
Washed.
No, just rinsed. But we've also tried to dry our tents because they were saturated the other day when we got up at Helena, so we've put the footprints down and the fly out, and also the body of the tent as well, just to try and make things a little bit better. And now we're about to prepare a 2-course dinner tonight, isn't it? We're having soup in advance.
Soup for starters.
Soup for starters. Lovely. Looking forward to it immensely. I'm going to go and wind up or pack up my tent now and prepare for dinner. Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.